From your smartphone, the first thing you need to do is turn on your grid. So go to your menu, your settings, and scroll down to your camera app. Once you're in your camera app, you're going to be able to have a selection called Grid. Make sure it's turned on. Now that my grid is set up, I can compose. And here's my living room set up. I have two softbox lights set up at a 45-degree angle onto my table. I used a background of just a white piece of paper. And I'm going to place my artwork, my flat artwork, straight down on the table so that it crosses between the two 45-degree angle lights. I'm going to stand above it and compose my picture using the grid. The next thing I'm going to show you is how I'm going to turn off the lights. And we're going to use the natural light from the window that's coming in from behind the picture, just so that you can see the difference. So now that the lights are off, we're going to go in and do the same thing. I'm going to stand above, compose my picture, make sure I'm straight. And take my picture. One thing to keep in mind with smartphones is that you want to make sure you zoom in slightly because it is a wide angle lens. There will be some distortion if you don't zoom in with your smartphone. So now I'm going to take this outside so you can see what it looks like in the shade. So this is my third option, is to work in the shade. If I don't have lights, I don't have window lights, you can go outside and find a shaded area. So you place the background down in a shaded area and do the exact same thing. As you can see, all three options did a fairly good job of giving you even light across the page. You can see a slightly bit of shadow in the window light in the matting section, but that's not going to matter because we're going to be able to crop that out later. So let's take a look at how we can adjust the third one to make it have less of that cool tone. So if you open up your picture in your smartphone and click on the edit, you're going to have first the option to crop out any of the excess on the outside. For online submissions, you want to make sure you do not have any extra information that is not needed. You do not want anything like a background or the table or anything like that. Make sure you include everything that is a part of the image though. You can also slide it side to side so that you can straighten it out as well as cropping out the edges. The last adjustment I need to make to this picture is the color tone. This is the outdoor picture, the outdoor picture was a bit too cool. So if I go back to edit and I go to light, you can see to the left, if I swing it all the way over to the left, it's going to give me warm tones. And if I swing it back all the way over to the right, it's going to give me the cooler tones. I've adjusted it to have the warm tones the way I like it, and it's ready to go. For our last segment, we're going to look at three-dimensional artwork. This is my friend's artwork, and we're going to photograph it using the same system of 45 degrees, but this time we're facing it to the wall. Notice the background paper is just a swooped piece of paper. Mine is a watercolor paper that I have taped to both the table and to the wall. Make sure you crop out all of the background. The next thing I want to do is I want to turn off the lights, and let's take a look at what it looks like with just natural light coming in from the window. The major thing you're going to notice is the shadow comes from one direction to the right. You can see the shadow is a bit more dramatic than what it was with the lights on. And in the final segment, we're going to go outside in the shade and do the exact same picture. When it comes to photographing your three-dimensional work, you need to look at the shadows and the highlights in your work and make sure there's not too many reflections, especially on a shiny surface like this. The middle one is looking like a really good option, and the first one is looking like a good option. The third one looks like it's a bit washed out. So it could be that you could do some adjustments on any of these and get exactly what you needed.